and welcome back to the Illinois Drifter Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Kahn. For today's episode, I wanted to talk to some members of a band I've been seeing pretty regularly for a couple years now, Sunshine Daydream. I've wrote about this before on the Substack, and I'll probably talk about this in the interview when I talk to the members of the band here coming up. But I'd heard of Sunshine Daydream quite a few times over the years, but really hadn't been that interested. I'd been a Dead fan back in college, but it was pretty casual. I mean, I certainly, at WIU and Macomb, it was kind of part of the scene. The Dead were, but I would definitely say I was greatest hits level at best. Never really got into the live stuff for sure, or really even the albums. I liked what I heard, but just one of those things that I just didn't ever quite enter it deep enough. A couple of years back, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe, I was at the Legacy of Giving Festival in Springfield. It's no longer. They shut that thing down a couple of years ago, but it was a very cool festival while it was around. And I was there to see a different band, but I was walking past and there was a band. The name of the band was Pinch of Grace. They were a Jerry Garcia tribute band made up of several members of Sunshine Daydream. I believe Mike, who is going to be coming on the episode, and also Chris and Andy are members of that band. I can't exactly remember which members of the band were in that at the time. I should find that out at some point. But Chris's guitar playing really sucked me in. Chris Jensen's his name. He's the lead guitarist for Sunshine Daydream, and I think I would say he just was sort of a hypnotic style that's kind of synonymous with the Dead, but he adds in maybe a little Jimi Hendrix here and there. Just has something about his style that really speaks to me. And I think he does a great job of being a tribute to the Dead, but also doing his own thing and really showing off what he's capable of. And I just really enjoy listening to him play guitar. And honestly, the whole band. We'll go through the members here. It's and that day I remember I just thought to myself, I think I need to dig into the Dead a little more, and also I want to see this whole the whole band more, or at some point the whole band, and I have many times since then. But in addition to Chris, you have Andy Hoff, who plays guitar and vocal and also sings. You have Mike Tasch, who plays keys. You have Kyle Cottingham on drums, Brad Beneke on bass, and the Olivia Tasch, who also is on vocals. Every member of the band kind of brings something special, like the Dead, like the band itself. Every member kind of had something they brought that was, if you would have taken it away and tried to replace it with someone else, it wouldn't have quite been the same. Even though there were members they did that with over the years, and it worked, but that original group certainly was something pretty special. And the fact, how strong they were and really inspired anybody who replaced them, kind of had to sound like that person. So, and I think that's the same way with Sunshine Daydream, is they do a good job of all sort of playing those roles in their own way. So, enough of me talking about them. Let me bring in a couple of members joining me today from Sunshine Daydream is keyboard player Mike Tasch and vocalist Olivia Tasch. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I kind of want to start at the beginning, because whenever I'm watching you guys, I look up on the stage, I always think, how did this group of people get together? I think it's kind of an interesting, you guys don't, when you think of Grateful Dead, you guys don't all look like Deadheads up there, so I always think, I wonder how this group got together. So how did it happen?
Yeah, there's like the Sunshine lore. The core group, they've known Chris and Andy, the two guitar players, and Kyle, the drummer, have known each other for a really long time, since they were in, I feel like Andy and Chris told me that they went to the same preschool, and then their first band was in middle school. And then from there, they've just been playing together ever since. And then in high school, maybe Kyle played with them. And then they met Mike like much later on. And then Brad and I joined the band 2016.
Okay. So did you guys know each other? Olivia and Mike, did you guys know each other before the band, or you did?
Yep. Yeah, we got married in 2015, and we went to college together. So we met a long time ago, like 2009.
So the Dead, being the Grateful Dead tribute specifically, so that was kind of more, that was sort of already established when you guys came to it, correct? It was
Oh,
Dead.
yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was a Grateful Dead cover band well before I joined. Sunshine Daydream has always been that a tribute band to the Grateful Dead.
So so were you guys always Dead fans, or what is your Dead history?
I think I
Yeah,
came
yeah.
to loving
So,
the Grateful Dead in like college. So that would have been like when I was around 18 or 19. But Mike, you might have a different experience.
yeah, I also started listening in college as well. I'm a cut 3 years older than Olivia, but yeah, we were going to a lot of like Dead and Company shows, and I remember listening to Uncle John's band, and I've been a fan probably a long time before I joined Sunshine Daydream.
Where did you guys go to college at?
We went to Millikan in Decatur, Illinois.
Okay, well that's where the Illinois Drifter Studios are based here. So
Oh,
definitely
cool.
very very very. My daughter goes to Milliken. Yeah, very
Nice.
very Milliken. That's very cool.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
um being a tribute band, I guess, has a certain amount of, I mean, at times, it can be, I personally, I came to, I mean, I was a Dead fan in college, but more like the greatest hits type thing. I mean, I got into the Dead more deeper through you guys. So I
Oh,
kind
that's
of, so I kind of feel like, so for me, I always kind of say that, but how do you guys kind of respond to anybody who kind of says, oh, tribute band, or whatever? Like, what is your response to that?
Well, it's kind of, I look at it like it's like a classical orchestra is playing Beethoven, or you're playing jazz standards. And we play, every Grateful Dead song's played a little bit differently. You change the tempo. We're always improvising. We're evolving the music. And I just like playing it. So for me, it's just a lot of fun. So if people want to look down on it, then I guess that's what's going to happen. But we're still going to play it.
Your set list, one thing I like, so I see a fair amount of tribute bands, and I guess if I did have a complaint when I go see some tribute bands, is that the set lists are predictable. It's like, it's going to be the same songs. With you guys, I really never know what I'm going to walk into on that set list, which is I mean, that's kind of that was like going into the Dead, so that's really cool about your set list. And I just wanted to know, how do you guys go about picking your set lists?
Yeah, I
Um,
think we're intentional about trying to not play the same things over and over again, and to really like learn new material and keep the set list fresh. But Mike, you could probably speak, being, the instrumentalist, you might be able to speak more to that, because the flow of the set list is like the songs kind of like go into one another. So yeah, maybe you can talk about it more, Mike.
well, I know like our guitar player, Chris, he's kind of the musical director of the band, so he's always deciding what we're going to be the order of songs we play, but we all make suggestions. A lot of it can just be on like what kind of music we're into at the time. We make set lists too. We try to like, if there's like flavor, I guess sometimes if a famous artist just like passed away, we might try to cover one of their songs. Like I know like with like Jimmy Cliff, we did some Jimmy Cliff songs, and obviously Bob Weir just passed away, so we did 2 shows with almost 100% Bob Weir songs. If we're playing on the lake, we might play more reggae and beach vibes. If we're opening for a bluegrass band, then we'll probably play more of the bluegrassy type Grateful Dead songs. And we know we play at the Rose Bowl. It's the home of country music, so we try to play some country songs. And then like Halloween, we always like to do a theme. And sometimes some shows will just do a theme as well. Like I know we played a Mardi Gras show last year and did a lot of their New Orleans theme songs in the show. But yeah, I think that yeah, we definitely try to kind of make the set list kind of play to the what's going on at the venue, and then what's going on in the world, and
Cool.
transitioning different songs together, and that work good together, and then transitioning songs that don't usually play together without taking a break is fun too.
That's one of the things about the Dead too, is that's not, you can't really do that with every band. You know what I mean? There's certain, a lot of bands that you try to, if you're going to be a tribute, you can't really change the style. That they had that style, but with the Dead, there were so many different, kind of genres that they rubbed up against over the years. So you can kind of, like you said, you can change it up in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think each time I hear them play the songs, even ones that they've played quite a bit, each time it's a little bit different. So it's really cool to see and listen to.
From both the musicians and I guess as a singer's standpoint as well, what are the hardest Dead songs to do?
I would say the more progressive ones like Help on the Way,
was the one that I was literally just thinking of too. Even with vocals, they're just there's like not as intuitive or something as maybe some of the other ones. But yeah, that one's like a really hard song.
Yeah, Unbroken Chains, another one. We've done the full Terrapin suite, so that's pretty hard. We brought that back a couple times, and if we were to play it again, we'd have to probably relearn it because you forget it so quickly. Lost Sailor Saints or Weather Report suite.
A lot of Bob Weir songs are pretty challenging, harmony wise, and it seems like instrumentally they really complex.
Do you have any that are your favorite or your most fun? Like, I love to play this song.
I love Jackstraw. That's my favorite. Whenever we have that on the set list, I get really excited. And then like Half Step is another one of my favorite ones to do too. It's just really fun.
Yeah, I was just thinking the last two shows how much I love playing Bob Weir songs. A lot of it has to do with the jamming that we can do. It's like coming out of like Cassidy or like playing in the band. It's just yeah, the jams can really kind of evolve. Yeah, they're always like real high energy or like music never stops. Yeah, and like Jack Straw.
It's such a huge library of songs that it has to be a challenge. And I see you guys up there sometimes with especially Chris with he'll have his iPad or his tablet up there, scrolling through it as he's going. And I'm always like, there's such a huge catalog of songs. It has to be tough to know all those songs. I mean, is that how do you guys approach that?
With our tablets.
Yeah, I was like, I have like a lot of the harmony parts like annotated on there. And the ones that we've played like quite a bit, I feel like I've gotten more just in my head. Especially like the show we just did, there were some that we don't play very often or we haven't played for a while. So it's like I just like annotate stuff or like make little notes to myself about things.
Yeah, it's like a cheat sheet. I mean, we don't look at them the whole time, but it's better just to have it if you forget something than to just like completely blow it.
I,
The amount of songs that this band does is way more than like some of the other bands I play in. So Chris never wants to play the same song like twice, and if we played a show like the week before, he'll like want to do all new songs. So he's always pushing us to like keep the set list fresh. Where I played in bands where we'll just like really fine tune just like a smaller library of songs just over and over, which is good too because you really can like develop the individual song. But the trade-off is the material kind of is the same the whole time is the same for a large amount of shows.
The Dead were obviously a band that was known for improvising and on stage, and sometimes that could be, sometimes everything's weren't perfect, and sometimes they could go a little off the rails or whatever. So I guess in that way, you're kind of doing it where you're playing so many songs and maybe you don't know it all off the top of your head is, I guess, kind of a tribute to them.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Dead definitely they like to wing it a lot. That's probably what we kind of do in a way, but
Yeah, I feel like it's helped me a lot to play in this band because maybe I can tend to have some perfectionist qualities, and this band is like so fluid and like everything kind of evolves on stage in the present moment, and it's really just been such a great experience for me personally to like be able to build trust with people in that way, but also like build trust with myself and with the crowd and everything. And just kind of be like humble and like let it go and just let it be like exactly what it's going to be. And sometimes it's like it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it's still really fun either way.
What do you think the key is to playing the Grateful Dead's music well?
I mean, you got to have a good background in just music theory, I think, because there's a lot of improvisation, so you kind of know like your scale, the fundamentals, and then you got to kind of learn how they played it before you can learn how to like make it your own too. So you have to kind of I'll always learn songs like I'm learning like Keith's part or Brett's part, and then the closest possible that I can get it. But then when I'm performing it, I'm like trying to like not just do what they did because it wouldn't really even make sense because the bass player in my band's doing something different and the drummer's playing a different tempo and the groove's a little bit different. So you have to be like flexible enough to like adapt, and then kind of play in a way that like suits you and like makes you look or like puts you in the best light because you're always like sound best when you're trying to play like yourself rather than when you're trying to play like somebody else.
Exactly.
I always think the like from being on stage watching them play and then just my own experiences playing with them is the communication that they all have, or I guess we all have with each other, um, is I think really important. And I've seen it just develop over the last like 10 plus years, like the deep trust that people have for each other on stage and like the letting people know, I don't know, there's just like subtle cues that they give each other that make the songs like flow really well and work. And it's always like just fun, you know, I don't have, there's not like this like pressure to do it a certain way, I guess.
I've seen you guys several times now. The last time was about 2 weeks ago at the Castle Theater for, I thought it was a really cool show. I thought that was, I've seen you guys a few times and I thought that one, not only it was the Bob Weir tribute, but that crowd was pretty, wild and crazy that night. It was just kind of a cool show. That was, but you guys have performed at the Castle several times, right? That's a place you've been at least a couple times, correct?
Yeah, we've been there one other time, and that was back about a year ago, year and a half ago, I think. Yeah, back in the fall of 2024.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that venue? I thought it was a kind of a pretty good fit for you guys.
I mean, personally, I loved it. I thought it was super fun, and the staff and everybody from like start to finish of playing there was amazing and like super accommodating, and the stage was like really comfortable. The sound was really great, like on stage, and the crowd it seemed like they had fun. Yeah, I thought it was great. Great spot.
Really nice green room too. That's where the bands get to hang out.
I've always
It's got a lot of character and a lot of people, a lot of graffiti from all the artists that have played there over the years. And I reheated I used a microwave and the power went out, so I was like, that was funny.
Mike had to have his
Reheated an egg roll.
he needed egg rolls like 45 minutes before we were gonna play, and then the whole like all the lights went out. And they were so accommodating. They came right up and they were like so helpful and got everything back in order for us. It was really, they were, yeah, really nice.
We thought we might have ruined the show. We just killed the power to the whole.
you don't think about how old that building is, and yeah,
Yeah,
things like that. Probably microwave probably puts a hurt on the electricity. That's funny.
it's just one too many watts.
I love that theater, and it's probably my favorite venue in Central Illinois, to be honest with you. But man, it gets hot in there. It gets that night it was really hot in there, and I was actually a show the next Friday. It got really hot in there, but in general, you really can't beat that place. It's a fun venue.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. I think it's, yeah, always been a couple times we've played, it's been a really, really nice experience.
You guys kind of have some places. I mean, so sort of some like sort of regular places you play around. I know Motorheads. I know you guys have been at a couple times in Springfield. I know what are some places you guys kind of consider your home spots?
I feel like,
Um,
uh, go ahead, Mike.
like yeah, like I think in Springfield, definitely like the Curve In, Motorheads and Dannenbergers for indoor venues, and then Blue Grouch. There's so many great like beer garden type venues in Springfield. Like there's just so many. And then we've been playing by the state fair at the stadium. And then sometimes you could play the state fair, and there's like we play on the lake in Springfield a bunch. Springfield's definitely been really good to us and kind of like our home base.
Hmm.
And then we used to play Donnie's Homespun Pizza, which is kind of how I got to Springfield originally, because I was helping manage that restaurant and venue.
Wow.
Um,
Okay. I loved Donnie's back in the day. That was I miss the old Donnie's, but that's another subject.
yeah. Well, I don't miss managing it, but I miss seeing shows there.
I miss a P-Funk sandwich. That was my favorite.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. We also love playing in Rose Bowl in Champaign. That's one that we frequent a lot. We're going to play there in March coming up, and another great venue.
Yeah. That kind of leads into my next question. What are some things that you guys have coming up? Any shows or plans or things people should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, we've got our Rose Bowl show on the
Friday.
March 6th. It's a Friday. And then later on in that month, we're going to be at Arlington's in Springfield, and we're going to play a show alongside or opening up for a band called Old Shoe. and they're awesome. So definitely check it out. And that's Saturday, March 21st.
I'll make sure I link the right dates in the show notes and everything. And you guys do a great job on your social media of updating all that stuff. You guys have a great social media. If you don't mind me asking, who runs that?
Well, thank you. That's me.
That's mainly Mike. Yeah. Every now and then I'll get on there and post a story or something, but it's Mike. Mike can really take the credit on that social media stuff.
Yeah, I always know when you guys have shows coming up and all that stuff. I mean, I never, nothing ever sneaks by me with you guys because you guys do a really good job of keeping it out there. And it's wild. You guys how long you guys have been doing this too. It's really become a long-term thing for you guys. Would you have ever expected that when you started it?
No, it's really hard to keep it together. But that's really the key to getting it to grow and sound good is having the same people playing together for such a long time. And I think that's like one of our strong suits is like just the ability that we've been able to keep it together for so long.
Yep.
How have you done that? I mean, I know my dad was in bands, growing up when I was growing up, and man, that was a headache. There was always people leaving, especially when it's not like it's something you're doing for a living, when it's not your main job or whatever. People, you guys have a young family. It's very easy for people to fall out of it. I guess, how have you guys kind of kept it together?
I feel like we all just genuinely love playing music and playing the Grateful Dead, and they like genuinely love playing all together with each other too. I know I look forward to our shows and getting to catch up with everybody and like just get a lot of positivity out of it. So it keeps me like wanting to keep doing it.
Yeah, I had a band blow up in college that I put a lot of time into. So I kind of like, and then after the fact, I kind of regretted letting it get to that point. So now I kind of just do everything I can to keep some sort of harmony in the band and like just not take things too personally and just give people space when they need it to like, and then, slow things down when people are getting burnt out, maybe don't book. You could tell if you kind of feel it out. People are getting I'm booking too many shows. I'll just slow it down. Maybe you could take a month off or something and just never take anything too personally to the point where you're just going to blow up the whole thing because it's not worth it. It's too much work to start a new band. I mean, it's even if you start a new band with a bunch of really great players, it takes so much time to just get the promotion out there and make it successful and get shows booked and then you have to play with the same people for such a long time. It's just always more worth it just to keep it together.
One of the things before we wrap up here, one of the things that I always think about when I see you guys, and it's funny, whenever I take new people to see you guys, I always go, they do especially like there's been a couple shows I think I've seen where you guys weren't, or I know Olivia, you weren't there. And I'm always like, so whenever I have people, I'm like, she does a great Angel from Montgomery. You're going to love it, right? So then at the castle, you guys didn't do it, which was no big deal. That was a cool show. The Bob Weir stuff was awesome, but my mom was like, I thought we were going to hear Angel from but
that's really sweet. Oh my gosh, I'll have to. That's funny.
Thank you. It's one of those things where you guys do a few non-dead related songs, and I was wondering how you kind of chose that and how you approach that.
Yeah, for that one, that's another like personal favorite of mine, and I think that we maybe did that as a little tribute for John Prine. Mike and I also play in another band that's like more of a folk and like bluegrass type band, and we do that song in that band too, right, Mike? And I think maybe just like a combination of all of those things came together to bring that song to the forefront, which would probably speak to how all of the other ones that are not dead songs kind of come up. It's like a tribute to another musician maybe, or a song that like someone's really passionate or comfortable with, that also kind of like could fit into the Grateful Dead genre.
That makes sense. That definitely
let
makes
us
sense.
know next time your mom's coming because we'll make sure to put it.
We'll put that on the list.
Oh, it was great though. We really enjoyed the show, so it wasn't a big deal. But I always brag it up. So because it was really, I remember I saw it at the Lincoln at theater when you guys played there in Decatur, and I remember really being like, "Whoa, this is goosebumps."
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
So
I like to play that song.
You guys mentioned that you do have another band you play in. I got to ask, what's the name of that band?
That's the Chickadee Sermon, and it's a four-piece band, and it's mostly original music, though we do have some Grateful Dead.
Seen how often do you guys play out?
I feel like we play in the warmer months, like kind of take a break when we get into the holidays. But we just booked a show in April. Mike, what's the date? April 2nd. It's a Thursday happy hour show at Rose Bowl in Champaign, Urbana. What's
April
that?
2nd.
April 2nd. Yeah. So we'll probably start playing a little bit more now that it's getting warmer. My girlfriend that plays along with me, she's a guitar player, great harmony singer, great songwriter. But she always says, or one of us always says, we're like the chickadees fly south when it gets cold. So now we're gonna come back.
Well, I'm gonna have to check. Do you guys have social media?
Yeah, yep, we've got Instagram and Facebook.
I will have to check this out. That sounds really fascinating to me, and I'm always looking for something new and different. So maybe we'll have to have you guys back on and talk about that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be super fun.
Well, hey, I really appreciate it. This was a great conversation, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you guys out again. You guys play around me so often, and I just every once in a while I get an itch to go hear some Dead. So, and you guys scratch it, no doubt.
Thank you so much for having us. This was really fun.
Hey, we'll do it again sometime. Like I said, have a good night, and I will talk to you guys again soon.
Thanks a
Sounds
lot.
good.
We love the Substack too, by the way.
Yeah, love the Substack. Yep.
Like I said, really great social media pages for Sunshine Daydream. And also, as I've checked it out here, post interview, Chickadee Sermon also has a pretty cool social media. So, yeah, definitely check that out. I was glad to find out about that they have even more side projects than I thought. So I'll definitely be trying to dig into all those. Most people who are listening to this podcast probably know about archive.org. But if you wanted to hear the show from the castle, which, like I said, had a really cool set list, and there's a pretty good recording of it on archive.org, if you're familiar with that at all. If you're not, prepare to have your mind blown, because it's a pretty amazing resource. You can get on your desktop, like I said, archive.org. If you want to download an app on your phone and just play the songs from there, there's something called Live Music Archive in the App Store. Download that, and you can access all of the music in the archive.org. Archive.org has tons of stuff on it besides music. I mean, honestly, music is a pretty small part of it, but get on there and check it out yourself. I don't even want to start to begin to describe everything that's on there. It's a really cool thing. It's kind of what the internet should be. It's basically a nonprofit repository of free information, and a lot of free information and files, computer files, and that aren't copyrighted or the copyright's expired or whatever. A lot of it's live music. And if you, like I said, Sunshine Daydream, this show, many shows of theirs are on there. And also a lot of other bands we've talked about on Illinois Drifter, Steve Water Band, JJ Gray and Mofro, Tedeschi Trucks, Billy Strings, all have shows on archive.org. So definitely, if you haven't checked that out, do it. We talked a little bit about the legacy of Giving Music Festival earlier. Sad to see that gone. Another thing that I'll pour one out for is Donnie's Homespun Pizza, that didn't realize that Mike Tasch had been involved with. Sounds like Mike didn't miss working there, but definitely I will say that place was fire. It was the best pizza in Decatur, and Decatur misses not only that pizza, but just the cool vibe and just the general, what it brought to the town, and also the food. So Miss Donnie's, hopefully something like that can replace it one day. But either way, thank you so much for listening. Much, much more coming soon, and I will see you at a show.